Hey there YouTube fans, AC Productions here, and today I'm going to be showing you on how to install this Forged Carbon wrap on the tail section of your bike. Now the reason you think why I'm selecting the tail section is just because this is the part I'm really going to cover, as I did have before a carbon fiber wrap. But I think it's time for change. Found this nice Forged Carbon look, which looks pretty cool. It just looks like a bunch of little pieces of wrap, honestly, and it kind of just gives that look. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and install this on the tail, and pretty much the technique and everything I'll be showing you in this part of the video is going to apply for any part of your bike. Not only the tail, could be for the front fairings or whatnot. So I'm just going to show you a little bit of tips and tricks that I use to install wrap. A lot has changed. You'll see a link up here for that particular video, but I kind of wanted to do a refresh update on wrap. Alright, so let's get started on the tools that you'll need to do this installation. Alright, so we may or may not need to use some of this stuff, but it's good to have anyway. So we're going to need a hobby knife, heat gun for sure. Not too sure about this, but we're going to use it anyway. This is an adhesive promoter. This is going to allow it to stick in really tough, tricky areas. Other than that, we do need isopropyl alcohol to clean the area. Now this is going to be the one that I'm not sure about. This is a clear wrap. For sure you're going to need like a type of a squeegee. If you don't have a squeegee, use a credit card, some tape to hold your wrap while you work on the bike. And this may be also in case you want to kind of tuck, the wrap in areas, which I'll show you in the video. Paper towels for the isopropyl alcohol, and these are little cotton balls for the 3M promoter. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started and start cleaning the area of where you're going to be installing the wrap. So in this video, it's going to be installing here in the back. So I'm going to go ahead, and as you can see on how dirty my bike is, so I want to make sure that I clean all this, clean all this stuff, because obviously I did remove the old wrap, so it did leave a little bit of sticky residue, but not much. But you want to make sure you get all this stuff clean, because preparation is key. You don't want to have all this stuff because the new wrap is not going to stick to this. It may stick for a little while, but then it'll come off. So you definitely don't want that. You want to make sure that your wrap stays as long as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and clean all this. You just kind of inspect your bike and just clean off all the necessary areas. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and you do the same. Okay, after you get the whole area clean, next what I'm going to use is going to be the adhesive promoter. It's made by 3M right there. I'm going to go ahead and get our cotton swab, and then we're just going to pretty much put it on here and just dab it maybe once. You don't think you need that much, but if you don't think getting it twice is optimal. Alright, so now that we got our cotton swab already dabbed with the adhesive promoter, now what we're going to do with the adhesive promoter is we're going to just kind of dab it all around the edges of where we're going to install the Forged Carbon wrap. And now the reason for the edges is because that's going to be pretty much the main part where it can catch air pocket, or dust and debris could actually get in there, making a little air pocket and for the rest of the dirt to pretty much peel off and ruin your wrap. So by doing this, you're going to make sure that there's a little bit of adhesion there. Therefore, when you stick it, it's going to be really sticking on there really good. So I'm just going to pretty much put it alongside over here, and alongside pretty much all the edges is what you want to do on putting the adhesive promoter. So just, you don't have to put a lot, just just a little bit on there, just to get it started right here. I'm just going to go alongside. So while I go ahead and do that, you guys do the same on installing the promoter. Like I said, you're not going to be putting all over it. You're just going to do the edges. Alright, so now here is my tip on how to get those pre-cut Forged Carbon pieces. Now this will go for any type of wrap you do. It doesn't have to be Forged Carbon. Now I'm going to start with this piece over here. Now I already did obviously the one for the tail, so I'm going to show you on this piece. I'm going to be actually wrapping this part with the Forged Carbon as well. I think it will give a good look. So what to do is we're going to grab our painter's tape, and we are just going to go ahead and mask off this area. Make sure you're pressing in there. Now that groove is actually going to be where we're going to actually be getting the knife to actually cut. So just go ahead. It doesn't have to be perfect right now because we're actually going to cut this two sides. So I'm going to go ahead and tape the rest of this, and you guys do the same. So now we have the area mask off. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually press in where those creases are at, because we want to make our, I would say, tracing line. So I'm going to go ahead and press that in really good and tight. I'm going to go ahead and press the edges. Make sure you press it really hard so that way you got that line to guide you on where you're going to be cutting. And if you can't get it in with your fingers, you could go ahead and get your squeegee tool and kind of do the same. Go ahead and press it in really good, that we get those nice sharp lines to actually do your cut. Alright, so now that we have our lines in like this, alright, so now we're going to go ahead and grab our hobby knife, and we're going to go ahead and cut the tape. Now at this point you want to make sure that you're very careful on doing it. You don't want to start scoring the plastic. So I would say just get your knife. If you have these ones that are adjustable, I would say probably just get it enough to a short tip, and then we're just going to go ahead and cut the painter's tape. You want to make sure, like I said, you're careful on doing so. Alright, so now that you already scored and actually cut that part out, you could go ahead and just grab and get our edge over here. And it's hard to get because I don't have any nails. And then we're just going to go ahead and peel that part off. As you can see, my tape doesn't come out that well, but for yours it should come out a little bit better. So what we're doing is we're pretty much making a template, so when we go to our cutting area, we could actually just cut that piece out that we need on our wrap, and then we'll have a perfect match for the area that you're installing it. So I'm going to go ahead and get this a little bit better so you guys can see on how it's going to look. Alright, already cleaned out all the edges. Now you can see everything is nice and sharp. Now this is how you make a template for the piece that you're going to actually wrap on your bike. Instead of, just putting the whole wrap on here and cutting it, that's kind of being wasteful. With this, you're going to get more cleaner cuts, and it's also going to help you on eliminating waste on your wrap, because sometimes wrap is a little bit on the expensive side. Alright, so now that we have all this, we're just going to go ahead and peel off this area. And there we have it. Now we have our template for our wrap. Now we're going to go ahead and go over to the table, and then I'm going to put this on over the wrap, and then go ahead and just pretty much just cut along the lines. So we're going to go ahead and get our template. Sorry for the kind of weird angle, as I'm using my other tripod for a different reason. Now again, you want to eliminate as much waste on your wrap, therefore maximizing on all of your wrap. Alright, so I stuck it on there, and as you can see, I try to maximize on not being too wasteful with the wrap. That way I could use these other pieces for whatever other reason. Now you're going to go ahead and grab your X-Acto knife or your hobby blade and just kind of cut along the edges using your template. Once you go ahead and cut that piece off, then you go ahead and apply it to the bike. Okay, I already got the piece already cut out. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove the blue painter's tape, and then I'll show you how to apply it onto the spot. Alright, now that I removed the painter's tape, now we have an exact copy of what we just did. So now I'm going to go ahead and put it onto the bike, peel little by little, and stick it right in its position. Alrighty guys, now as you can see, it came out perfect. Pretty much like the professionals do it. So now this piece is nice and wrapped and looking very good. I think it complements the bike, and it'll complement pretty much the rest of the other parts that we do in this type of wrap. Alright, so guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this tip, and hopefully it would help you guys on improving your skills as you guys learn how to do wrap as well. Now that the whole area is nice and clean, what a pain in the butt that was. Alright, so now I already got my pieces here, and as you can see, these are already my pieces that I already had pre-cut, and then I have the piece that's going to go on the side. As you can see, I've already pre-cut this. So again, we want to make sure that we're going to go from back to front. I'm going to start it off like over here. I'm going to put this top piece in last. So I'll go ahead and put that off to the side. So I'm just going to go ahead and start it over here, and again, just peel a little bit and then just go little by little on pressing it. Don't just go ahead and grab the whole backing and just peel it off, because in case something happens and the piece falls on the floor, therefore now the piece is ruined and collects all the garbage on the floor. So just go little by little pressing it. If need be, if you need some assistance on holding it, get some of that painter's tape and put a little piece here to hold it over here at the back end, therefore kind of secure it, therefore the piece doesn't fall on the floor. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to probably do a time-lapse video showing you guys the procedure of as I'm doing it. Alrighty guys, so far it's looking really good. Now the cool thing about having the forged carbon, if you need to cut a piece, you cut a piece and you could actually put it, and it actually blends very well. As you can see, I actually needed a piece over here, and you can't even tell where I had cut it to actually put it. But so far it's looking really good, coming along very well. Now next piece we're going to be installing is going to be this top piece. Now I'm not going to show you how to do the other side of the piece because it's pretty much the same exact process. I'm going to go ahead and remove our passenger side seat. Alrighty guys, now for the final piece, which is going to go right over here. As you can see, already, like I said, have my pre-cut. I have it with this weird shape. The reason is because once we get it on there, we're going to go ahead and we are going to fold this little flap first and then overlap it with the bigger flap, therefore creating the corner piece. Alright, so again, like before, you want to make sure you go slowly, and I'll go from the back towards the front. Go ahead and do that part right now. Alrighty guys, as you can see, it came out very well. Again, I'm not a professional wrap person, so there are going to be some imperfections in the wrap here and there. But when you're doing the stuff for yourself, who cares? Unless you're paying someone to do it, and then you want an absolute perfection. But other than that, it came out very well, as you guys could see. There you go on that side. And then the part that I didn't show you guys when I was doing it was this part over here. So you could see that this part came out very well. Alright guys, so that pretty much concludes the video. If you guys found this video helpful, please smash that like button. If you haven't yet subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification bell. That way you guys are up to date with my latest videos. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you know anyone else that's looking to do a wrap like this, as you can see, I did this other part. This was part of my tip. If you know anyone else that's looking to do a wrap like this, please share my videos. It'll help me out, and it'll help that person that's looking to do this but is a little bit of afraid or doesn't know how to do it. It'll help them out as well. And thanks again for watching. See you guys on the next video.